Hello, today I'll be taking a look at the Morgan Stanley CashPlus account and why I believe this may actually edge out the Charles Schwab high yield investor checking account that many people are aware of. If you've tried to find more information about this account, you've probably noticed that there are very few data points of people who actually have this account. One of the main reasons is because this account is something that you cannot easily just open online. There's actually a series of hoops that you would need to go through in order to be able to get this account, and you would also have to go through some hoops in order to try and waive the fees of this account. Just be aware that I did my own research on this account, including reading the fine print, and I intend on using this as my primary checking account. So it will be up to you to determine whether this makes sense or not for you. Let's go over the main features of this account. This account pretty much has unlimited ATM fee rebates. This means that you can go to any ATM worldwide, and if the ATM operator or owner charges a fee, you will be reimbursed. It says there are no account fees, but I will talk about later on how you can get those waived. There are no foreign transaction fees, so you can basically spend using that debit card even if you're in a different country, and you will not incur any foreign transaction fees. You will get identity protection from Experian. This identity protection is different than those free places such as Credit Karma, Mint.com, things like that. This identity protection will actually give you the scores from all three credit bureaus as well as the corresponding reports. And you supposedly have insurance protection, identity insurance up to 1 million. And because this card is a MasterCard, you also get price protection as well. The insufficient funds coverage actually does not apply to me because you actually need a different kind of Morgan Stanley account to be able to take advantage of this. So, at least for me, this part is not useful. Um, as with any other checking account, there is online bill pay. You can lock and unlock your debit card, and there are cash management alerts, which is pretty much what you'd expect from most checking accounts. So for this Cash Plus account, there are actually two tiers. The lower tier is called Premier, and the higher one is called Platinum. I actually chose the Premier tier because it makes sense for me. The main difference with the Platinum Cash Plus account is that it will allow you to get the Morgan Stanley American Express Platinum and get a $550 annual engagement bonus. So what that means is if you open this account and you have a Morgan Stanley American Express Platinum card, they will basically reimburse you the $550 annual fee for that Platinum card. But that sounds great and all, but keep in mind that there are some hoops that you will need to do in order to get that bonus. Um, as mentioned before, we have unlimited ATM rebates, uses a MasterCard. Um, you have the typical protections from a MasterCard: extended warranty, price protection. I already talked about the identity and credit protection from Experian. Um, and the main differences between the two accounts are the ways you avoid the fees. So for the Premier account, which is the lower one, you only need $2,500 in monthly deposits or any amount in Social Security deposits. Um, the alternative is to have 25,000 in daily cash in the account. Keep in mind that this account does not earn any interest. So that's something definitely to consider when thinking about which tier to sign up for. Um, One important note is that this $2,500 monthly deposit, usually people think it needs to be a paycheck from your employer, but this account is unique in that it can be any transfer into the account. So it can be a just transferring money into the account, even if it's one of your outside accounts. And something that was also not mentioned is that this account supports Zelle, which is the way a lot of the big banks allow you to transfer money instantly. And for the Platinum account, it will require 5,000 in monthly deposit and you need to have 25,000 in daily cash. So the difference is you need 5,000 and 25,000, but the lower tier is a kind of a or condition. It's either 2,500 monthly or 25,000 in daily cash. So that's the big difference between the Premier and the Platinum Cash Plus accounts. Also, you can see the monthly fees if you do not meet the requirements. It's $15 for the Premier account and $45 per month for the Platinum account. Two more distinguishing features about this account is that you will get a metal debit card. So the Premier account will get a dark blue card, and the Platinum Cash Plus account will get a silver-like card. Both cards are metal, and here is what it looks like. Also, something that's not mentioned on this page, but I was able to find in the fine print, is that this account does have free wire transfers, both incoming and outgoing. For the outgoing, you actually have to call them uh, and tell them the information, and they will take care of it. But apparently, it is free. Just to kind of show you some of the fine print and to confirm what I just said, you can see here it says no fees for the following activities. Uh, you have the usual things like check writing, no foreign transactions, checks and debit cards. Um, it's interesting how for the Premier account, they will only mail it to you first class, but for the Platinum account, they will do expedited shipping. And then down here, there's no fees for cash advances, incoming wires, as well as outgoing wires. And I did say you have to call them for outgoing wires. Overnight check disbursements, insufficient funds, return checks, and insufficient funds rejected transfers. Um, and then these other features are just the credit protection and just like the online and mobile capabilities. So now that you know about the features, it is definitely a compelling cash management account. Now, there are three main hoops that you will need to go through in order to get this account. The first hoop is that you cannot open this account online. You will have to call them up, and the key is to ask for a virtual advisor because they are the ones with the power to open this account. So when you call Morgan Stanley, ask for a virtual advisor and say you're interested in opening a Cash Plus account. The second hoop is once you have the account open, you will need to actually have a Morgan Stanley investing account because it is required in order to waive the fees. And in the fine print here, it says opening and maintaining an eligible non-cash plus account. In order to avoid the monthly fee, you must open and maintain an additional Morgan Stanley investment account. So the only ways to do this is you will have to open, um, the easiest way to meet this requirement is to open their robo-advisor account called the Access Investing account. And here is where you can find it. If you search for the Morgan Stanley Access Investing, this is their version of a robo-advisor, which is similar to places like Betterment, Wealthfront, etc. And this account requires a $5,000 minimum. So this may or may not be a deal breaker for most people. Um, I think this makes sense if you have 5,000 to invest, um, and and can live without the $5,000 just sitting here investing in this account. And the way this account works is you basically open it up, and it'll ask you a series of questions on like what you want to do with this, how you want to invest this money, and how much risk you want to take. And once it's open, it will automatically invest the money into the portfolio based on the answers to the questions that you gave. Keep in mind that this account has a 0.35% annual fee. So if you put in the minimum of $5,000, this translates to roughly about $20 a year. And normally I would not invest in a robo-advisor myself, but the reason I did this is because I feel like that $20 management fee that I'm paying is well worth the cost in getting that extra credit protection. Even the employer that I work at offers credit protection and they easily charge $7 to $10 a month, but I think of this annual fee as kind of like paying for the credit protection that I'm getting. So at $20 a year, that's roughly two, maybe even $3 per month, which I'll be more than happy to pay for. And then once you open the Access Investing account, you will have pretty much met the requirement for having that additional Morgan Stanley account. And the last hoop that you need to handle is basically waiving the monthly fee. And the reason I chose the Premier account is because I feel that the conditions for waiving the fee makes more sense and is the least effort for me. So I had said that you need to have $2,500 in monthly recurring deposit. That can be any transfer from any outside bank, and it includes transfers such as Zelle. So here it says transfers via Zelle, any check deposits, any mobile deposits, or any transfers from external banks will count as for the $2,500 monthly deposit. Or if you are a working person, making this your primary checking account and just having your monthly paycheck go in here, then most likely you won't have to worry about this. So you can either have your monthly paycheck go in here or just kind of automate $2,500 going in and out of the account. I think that makes more sense than having a $25,000 average daily balance that earns zero interest. I think $25,000 is better in a high yield online savings account earning roughly at least 1% these days. So in summary, the Morgan Stanley Cash Plus account, if you intend to use this as your primary checking account, or or maybe you even want to go for the Platinum account and try and get your Platinum credit card fees waived, then this account may actually make sense. I think it's better than the Charles Schwab account in the sense that it supports things like Zelle. You get free wire transfers, which normally banks charge $25 to $50 per transaction for. It's basically a way to send money really quickly, even faster than the typical ACH transfers. And to top it off, you get free ATM reimbursement worldwide, and it's also a nice touch that you get a metal debit card. So that kind of makes I don't know, maybe I'm just shallow, but having a metal debit card just makes it feel just a little bit more special. So, so if you're looking for an awesome checking account where you don't have to worry about foreign transaction fees or using ATMs or just um, kind of like having everything all in one, I think it's kind of hard to beat this account if you look at all the various features. Um, I'm sure that many of you will probably have additional questions. So if you are interested, just leave a comment below and I will respond to all of the questions and comments. And I will give as much information as I can to help if you are interested in this account. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.